Good evening, everyone. Many of us may not think about state politics in our day to day lives, specifically politics and laws regarding abortion access. But in recent years, Arizona has made national headlines and has stirred up a little bit of controversy within our own state laws regarding to abortion access. And most of us in this class do live in the state of Arizona, and some of these laws may directly impact us, some of these may not, but it is important to know what we have in the state of Arizona and be able to inform others and just to personally know for yourself. And a little bit of background about me is I have canvassed for about 3 different election cycles. And what canvassing does, we go door to door knocking, informing people about what's on the ballot. And so I have researched a little bit on the topic, specifically Proposition 139, which was on our ballot last year, and to inform the public and our voting citizens on what it is. And although abortion access in Arizona has drastically changed over the years, the notable difference is Proposition 139 was passed last year, and it's important to understand what that has us protected under and any restrictions that apply as well. So today I will discuss the background of abortion history and abortion access in the state of Arizona, then explain how we arrived to our current state, as well as highlight any abortions or abortion barriers or any other barriers that we do face today. So let's start off with the point on how do we get here, and to the point where an amendment needed to happen. And going back to pre-statehood in Arizona, abortion laws have shifted, and according to the Arizona Mirror, the first criminalized abortion ban was in 1864. This was before statehood of 2012 for the state of Arizona, and this was a near total ban that lasted for almost a century in the state of Arizona. Up until the Roe v. Wade decision, most people know the term. They might not know what kind of falls under that, but Roe v. Wade did protect abortion across the country. So that did change in 1973 for the state of Arizona. And it is important to know that that pre-statehood ban was at the topic of lots of controversy with, before the 2024 general election, because what that did is when the Dobbs decision was decided in 2022, the Dobbs decision was pretty much reversing the Roe v. Wade decision, legalizing abortion amongst the nation and leaving it to the states. That kind of left Arizona in a little bit of a limbo land of what do the laws say? We were protected, are we not protected? There was in 2022, Doug Ducey did sign a 15-week ban, pretty much stating that abortion is legal up until 15 weeks in the state of Arizona, unless specific exclusions that apply. But we did have pro-life coalitions that did push against that and took it up to federal court, stating that the 15-week ban wasn't as specific in the text and that the 1864 ban for pre-statehood actually applies. That caused anger on the pro-choice side, people who did support abortion. So there was appeals. 1 week abortion was legal, abortion week was not legal, and that kind of left legal experts and abortion providers, people who may be seeking the assistance that they need with that, it kind of left them like whether if it was legal or not, and a little confused. So now that we got a little background of what that is and how did we get here today, there is a reproductive group that created the legal framework for Proposition 139 to be created. That is a ballot initiative that started in the state of Arizona. And what a ballot initiative is within our state specifically of Arizona, citizens can come together and create a ballot initiative. And once they get enough signatures, put on the ballot as a proposition, and that proposition could get passed in the general election, depending what you vote for. And so that Proposition 139 specifically laid out the framework as legalizing abortion essentially into our Constitution. and the ACLU of Arizona further explained, they have sponsored the bill, and they further explained that the measure would effectively repeal the outdated 1864 law and set into our Arizona state constitution as an amendment that abortion rights should be protected. So it would help prevent any criminal penalties that a provider or a person seeking abortion may face. And with that proposition, when that came on and to get the ballot measure signatures, they received a record number of over 800,000 signatures in support of this measure to get on the ballot. And it is important to note that Arizona is notably a red state and recent years has been a swing state. So to have such overwhelming support for this bill was something that kind of showed a little bipartisanship. But even with the bipartisanship, there was still a huge pushback against it. There is a pro-life coalition who started the federal appeal to Doug Ducey's 15-week ban. They also pushed to find a way to not have this measure make it to the ballot, or they also just did their own campaigning as to why it's bad. They did criticize that with a abortion access, unrestricted abortion access, they stated that it might have gone too far by not stating out term limits as to when an abortion can be done, as well as age restrictions, like allowing a minor to seek abortion. They did say that is too far. But with the general election, they did pass the Proposition 139, and that is amended into our state constitution now. And the difference with an amendment to a constitution versus a bill is this is a little harder to change. You can't just have a governor come in and sign a bill. You can't just have a slight majority to come in and change the law. So this is more protected than it has ever been in the state of Arizona. But while Proposition 139 does represent progress, there are still significant barriers within accessing full reproductive access in the state. Because if you were to go on the Attorney General's site, Kris Mayes, according to her website, she does state various restrictions that there have in rules and regulations towards abortion in Arizona, such as you can only access them and do in-person visits from a physician-only provider, meaning no telemedicine, no mail-in medicine, and you can't see nurse practitioner, physical PAs, as well physician assistants. You would need to go in person to a medical doctor, DO, that type of situation. And that can create a barrier for patients in rural and underserved areas that cannot travel, cannot access that far, as well as the cost. The cost is not covered by state insurance, or most insurance plans won't cover elective abortion procedures. So there are still barriers. So it's not as, I would say, the state of California, which is a little more progressive in that sense. There are still restrictions. There is mandatory counselings, abortion ultrasound appointments, and these restrictions are controlled by the state government. So if you are a supporter, or if you are not a supporter of abortion laws, your voice is still important every single election cycle by who you put into office. And just because, there is an amendment that is in place, there are still restrictions and regulations that do go about the topic as well. So in conclusion, it's about understanding Arizona's abortion laws. It's essential to our state's progress and understanding the challenges that remain, but also highlighting the importance of the voice that you have. And as Arizona voters and residents, it's crucial to stay informed and engaged. And I suggest everybody to get out there and vote, even if this is not the topic that you vote for, or something that is not as important to you. I believe every election is important, and there is something on there that does affect your day-to-day life, and get out there and vote.